Hi guys, so today we'll be solving this problem called a valid number. Let's read it. A valid number can be split into these components: a decimal number or an integer, an e followed by an integer. A decimal number can be split into these components: a sign character, either positive or negative, one of the following formats: at least one digit followed by a dot, at least one digit followed by a dot followed by at least one digit, a dot followed by at least one digit. An integer can be split into these components in order: a sign, character, plus or negative, at least one digit. So we've been given an example of an array of numbers which are valid and the numbers which are not valid. So we can see that 2 is valid, 0.089 is valid, minus 0.1 is valid, plus 3.4 is valid, 4 point is valid, minus zero point 0.9 is also valid, 2e10 is also valid, minus 90e3 is also valid. Okay, so we have a set of valid numbers that has been given to us. So how we can solve this problem is by, just following what is given in the question, and just maintaining those parameters and just returning the answer which might be true or false depending on it satisfying the conditions which has been given to us. So let's code the part, and I'll explain how we can do the uh, follow the conditions which is given to us. So let's do it. So first we need to create a boolean num, which I initialize it to false, which determines if the number is if the number is numerical or not. And then we also have a sign boolean. Then one is there for decimal and one is there for exponential. Now we simply iterate through the string. For each character we check the conditions. So first condition is that if the number is between 0 to 9 or not. So for that we'll check if c is greater than equal to 0 and c is less than equal to 9. If this satisfies, then we make the num is equal to true. Okay, now we check else if condition, that the exponentials are also allowed, but exponentials are only allowed if it is e followed by an integer, or maybe it might be, you can see here, maybe it has already an integer minus 90 e3, or it is followed by an integer. If it's simply e, then we return false. Okay, so let's do that. So c is equal to e, or c is equal to e. Then we check if exponential has already been there in the string. If we have already got it, then we don't need to know uh, that we can't use it again, right? Exponential can only be once in a digit which is there in the conditions. So if we have already found the exponential, or we don't have any numbers in the string, then we return false. Else we make exponential as true, and num new number as false, and sign as false, and decimal as false. Okay, these conditions would be false. Then we come to a check of the signs. So if it is positive or negative, we check if sign is already come, or we've already encountered a number, or maybe we have encountered a decimal. So if all of this is there, we have already encountered a sign, it cannot come again because we don't want any operations in the string, right? So at this point also we return false. Otherwise we make the sign equal to true. Okay, and then we check if c is equal to a decimal. And for this decimal, we need to check if decimal has already come, or we've encountered an exponential already, then we return false. Okay. So if we already have an exponential and then we have a dot, then that is not valid. Okay. So you can see here, it can't be 0.99 e2, right? It is 99 e2 then 0.5. So e2 is before the decimal, so that we need to make sure, and that doesn't happen. So otherwise we make decimal is equal to true. And otherwise, if it's an alphabet, maybe it's A or B or C or anything else, which does not satisfy the condition of being a number, we return false. Okay. So these are the conditions that we have checked. Going through it again. So first we check if it is between 0 or 9. If then it is, then the number is true. And then we check if it is an exponential. And in exponential, we check if exponential has already been encountered by us, then we return false. Or maybe we don't have any number before that exponential, then we return false. Now, otherwise, we make exponential is equal to true and other members as false. Now, the third condition is checking about the signs. Signs may be positive or negative. So if sign has already been encountered, we know that we can't have any operations in the number. We don't need any operations. We just need the number. So therefore, if the sign is already encountered and we encounter a new sign again, then we return false. Otherwise, we make the sign equal to true. And then we check if we have encountered a decimal, and if decimal or maybe we have encountered an exponential earlier, then we return false. Otherwise, we make decimal is equal to true, and if we encounter anything other than all the conditions, then we return false. And simply then we return num. So let's run the code to see if everything is working fine. Hmm. Yeah, that is accepted. So I hope you guys understood the problem. Do solve it, and thank you.